What's good, people? It is on and popping. This is my premiere of I Got Something to Say, coming to you every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, shout out to everybody that's going to tune in. Hey, we're going to get this thing going, man. This is week one for me. Week fucking one. Let's go. If any of y'all been tuning in to New Millennial Culture Podcast that's on Thursday nights, y'all already know, man. I'm straight raw, no filter, don't care about nothing. I'm going to keep it straight 100. Hey, we here. This is what we do. Shout out to the team, the whole New Millennium Culture Network team. Shout out to Al. Shout out to Hurt. Shout out to Jeremy, man. We doing it. Hey, we doing it. Now I'm here, man. I'm here. Hey, to start tomorrow night, make sure y'all tune in for Big Hurt Talk Sports. He's going to be talking about all his sports updates going live. You know, he's going to talk about them Cleveland Brown fans. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Y'all don't want to miss it. Thursday night, make sure y'all tune in for New Millennial Culture Podcast. It's back. We are back in full attack. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. Make sure you tune in to that. Also, after that episode, make sure y'all tune in for a new premiere show of Esau Talks. Hey, she's gonna be talking about everything, man. She talks about being part of the LGBTQ community. She talking about her life. She talking about everything, living her lifestyle, especially here in Nashville. Shout out to her. Make sure y'all tune in for her. If y'all don't follow us on anything, make sure y'all tune in on YouTube. We all on platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure y'all tune in. We here, man. So let's kick it into gear. Let's get it. Yeah, y'all already started. Oh, you already see it. I told y'all. My boy Stafford left the Detroit Lions. Therefore, I had to get me the number 9 with the Rams. Let's go. Let's get it. I told y'all I was going to switch over. I am still a Lions fan, but I am a Stafford fan. That is my guy, especially for fantasy. That's my dude, man. I'm going to follow him, and I wish him nothing but success. Nothing but success. So, Jeremy, don't be hating, big dog. Do not be hating. Let's kick it off, man. Like I said, thanks for everybody tuning in. If you don't know, this week's episode is about determining your own outcome. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So moving forward, everything about my podcast is going to be about me, my lifestyle, how I grew up. It's going to be straight raw, straight honest. Hopefully I can relate to everybody that is watching. Hopefully people that, you know, that don't have a voice, they can relate. Just all the above, man. So I'm definitely in there. I was going to ship you one, but I see, man, when you hit me up, I had already ordered a jersey, so it wasn't no point in you spending your money, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that you save your money. So, hey, I mean, the Lions might not want me anymore, but, you know, we here. But let's kick it off, man. Let's kick it off. Hey, so determine your own outcome, man. What does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Like, you just make choices on your own? Are you emotional? Are you a physical reactor? Or do you feel like everybody has a choice in life? You know, when I'm thinking about determining your own outcome, you know, growing up, I look at it now as the options that I could have had, the opportunity that I could have taken. And no, I don't live with regret, but I think about those things as a 31-year-old man now. I think about those things like, could I have done something differently? Could I have made a different choice? Could I have thought twice about it? Could I have chosen a different crowd? Could I just everything? But when you have the certain upbringings or you have different type of lifestyles, sometimes you just don't think about those things. Growing up wasn't hard. I didn't have a bad lifestyle. Mom and dad wasn't, you know, out here in the streets and going all nuts and stuff. But, you know, when you have parents that work 9-to-5 jobs, 40-hour plus weeks, sometimes they can't give you that honest raising. They can't give you everything that you really need. Yeah, they're going to provide you shelter. That's their job. They're going to provide you clothes. That's their job. They're going to put food on the table. That's their job. But when you are going to school, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with trying to fit in. Maybe you might have been a person that's been getting bullied. So you having to trying to find a way to fit in with that crowd or try to avoid that crowd, and you don't know who to talk to. So you have different reactions to things that might have happened while growing up. So that's why I talk about determining your own outcome. I growing up, I'm just being honest. Like I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing. I moved from my dad's, moved to my mom's, moved to my dad's, moved to my mom's. So eventually it becomes one of those things like you isolate yourself and you feel like you are trying to survive on your own or you're trying to defend yourself. And I'm not knocking nobody from as far as my parents go, because they did what they were supposed to do. But at the same time, when you are hanging out with certain people, you learn things. You learn how to adapt to certain lifestyles. You learn to adjust to how people want you to be, or you think you think people want you to be a certain way, and you just try to fit in with the in crowd. Yeah, we got a bunch of fights, knock people out. Then it turns into more. Then you start shooting each other, stabbing each other. Then you start seeing people get killed. Then your mind start to shift. Your minds. Then you start talking about those emotions that come from either your heart or your mind. But your mind can play tricks on you. It's convincing, that you have no other options. Then you stop, and then you have to think about the emotion that you can't explain that you're feeling. So you react. You have that impulsive reaction. You just be like, fuck it, let's do it. Fuck it. Let me knock this nigga out today. Fuck it. Let me prove something. And then now I'm looking at it as like, what did I have to prove? What did I have to prove? Even going into being a 20, 21, 22, being a college 23, shit, to this day, sometimes you get tested and it's like, did I have to react to it? Or do I have to punch the nigga up? Now, if you go back to your childhood, maybe if I had a different lifestyle, or maybe I made different types of choices, maybe that learned behavior that I had might have been different. Maybe I would have really thought about my outcomes. Maybe I would have thought about the consequences. Maybe I would have thought about the in crowd that I chose, or because at the end of the day, it was my choice. At the end of the day, it was my ways. Punching niggas on sight. Punching niggas on sight. Man, I have a few times. I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've done it more than a few times. Hey, I believe in, look, you talking shit on the street. All right, let's talk about it like this. As a teenager, I reacted like no thinking about the outcomes. I'm not thinking about the consequences. I'm not thinking about what's next. I just do it. I see my boys looking at me. I'm looking at my boys. I'm trying to. Do I have to really prove something? So at that time, yeah, I had something to prove. Cause Marcel ain't about to be no punk. Niggas don't really know me. So yeah, I'm gonna knock him out real quick. Man, let's put these hands together. Let's do it. Well, nigga, why you looking at me a certain way? But that's impulsive. That's just reacting. That's that your mind is playing tricks on you. That's that you just going. And at the same time, you're developing, you're trying to grow, you're growing up. Just a lot of things going on. You just do it. Now, over time, as you grow and as I grow up, I know if I'm gonna knock a nigga out. You keep talking, I'm gonna punch you. Yeah. Now it takes a lot more in me. It takes a lot more. It's gonna be a lot. I might be like, babe, I know, babe. I punched the nigga up, man.
Why you punch him out? What happened now, Marcel? Every time you go out with your boys, y'all out here fighting and who hollering, you ain't gonna make no widow out of me. You ain't gonna make no widow out of me, Marcel. Quit punching people.
So yeah, now I gotta think about it. Like, I got kids, I got this. I see that Ohio State bottle. Just in case y'all didn't see it. But yeah, it hurt. Definitely more than a few times. You definitely right. But for real though, man, like, we don't understand trauma until we get older. We don't understand those childhood experiences that we have that can affect us long term. And our parents, sometimes, it's just generation to generation. Our parents have trauma that they might experience, and then they don't know how to cope, or they never figured out how to manage their emotions, and then their kids is now their kids is going through things, and we have to. Society tells us that we have to behave a certain way, but once again, for me, it's pride. I don't care. I don't care about the outcome. I don't care about what's about to happen. And I feel like now, as an adult, it fades to my life now. But now some of the stuff is kind of positive. It's on the positive side. So I do look at some of the things as positive. As a kid, I'm like, I don't care about no outcome. I don't give a fuck about what's gonna happen. I'm just for myself. But now it's different. Now I do care about the outcome, but I'm thinking twice about it. All right, let me see what I need to do for my family. I don't care about the outcome on me, but I need to make sure that my family good. So sometimes determining that outcome that's a good thing. You got to make sure that they got to eat. And if anybody on here watching, you got kids, as a man, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I believe that even for me, I didn't go to therapy as a child. I didn't ask for a counselor. I didn't do none of those things. And I'm just now understanding those things in the last years of counseling and mental and trauma and all that. And I might have been a person that suffered from depression and suffer from feeling neglect and feeling emotions that young men or young Black men aren't going to talk about, because we all know what we're taught. We all know what we can and cannot do. We're told to man up, don't cry, don't worry about it, move forward, suck the shit up. Man, y'all know what it is. Like, that's what we taught. We taught to shelter those emotions. The 3F cycle. Yeah. But we're taught, we taught those things. Like, we just taught to figure it out and keep it moving. And then you have that stuff just so bottled up. And then you be a 14, 15-year-old and you don't know how to react, and you just take off, and you just don't know how to determine your own outcome. But now everything's about a choice. Yeah, you got the big homie telling you everything's a choice, but you also got the big homie that's showing you, hey, this how you do this how you do that in the streets. Then you get in trouble, you do your little jail time. When you go to jail, you learn more. You learn more negative shit. You learn how to be more street smart. Then you get out, going back at it. But for me, once I had gotten in trouble, which I'll tell that story in another episode, but I will talk about, like, once I got in trouble, I had to think about the choices that I needed to make moving forward. I had to think about, what did I really want my future to be? And once I got out, I had to make those sacrifices. I had to determine my own outcome. By the time I was 17, 18, I had already been to multiple schools. I'm pretty sure it was 10 plus schools that I've been to by the time I graduated. So when I got out at 16, 17, or whatever age I was at, I moved to 2 hours away from my parents. I had to make those choices. I had to determine what was going to be better for me. My parents was pissed. They had moved all the way out to the suburbs. Was like, hey, you ain't getting in trouble no more. We gonna keep you out the hood. You ain't getting no. We gonna protect you. I came home. 2 months later, I was like, I'm leaving. My senior year in high school, I was like, Mom, I'm gone. But it was a better fit for me at the time. I had to make those choices. I had to make those changes. I had to figure out what was best. So at 17, I'm like, hey, this is the best option for me. I knew at that time, I was a senior in high school, and I was still a freshman credit-wise. I knew I was going to have to get a GED, but I didn't want a GED. So I had to determine what was best for me, and what's best for me was to move 2 hours away to a school that I knew that only required 21 credits, and I had 18 at the time, and I knew I was going to graduate that year. Yeah, I was dumb as shit, but I wanted that high school diploma, and I got it. I did it. I stayed with somebody at the time That didn't work out. Moved out, slept in the car for a little bit. Then the family welcomed me in. I played football, did what I was supposed to do, and I graduated. Those are the things that, as Black men, we have to be able to express. And that's why I'm glad to have this podcast, this platform to talk about those things, because we can give this story to the next person and the next person and the next person, and be like, hey man, if he been in some shit, he been through it, I can do it too. Or, hey, I ain't the only one that's been through something. I'm glad I got somebody that's speaking the truth. And this is my truth. Whether people like it or not, whether people understand it or not, it's not for them to understand. It's for me to understand. Because at the end of the day, it was my action. It was my way to determine what was next for me. So yeah, that's how we definitely gonna be talking about. So when we determine those outcomes, what actions do you think about? Everybody want to talk about the actions. What you really about? Your thoughts and your feelings. They compete with one another in order to give your body to do the work. It's a rush. It's a rush. It's a real rush. Like, all right, I'm feeling this way, but my thoughts is telling me this way. Sometimes you got to sit back and really think about it and be like, all right, man. All right, Sale. Relax. And that's why now when Hurt and Jeremy don't say just punch a nigga up on sight. Ain't about punching nobody up on sight. It's about sometimes that survival mode definitely kicks in. It's that mass, multiply acceleration of blood rush that's coming in quick, and you just be like, all right, I got to react quick. And then, but sometimes you do need somebody to tell you. Big Hurt do be like, hey man, gotta think twice, man. You gotta think about the shit. But sometimes in certain circumstances, you just don't have that option to walk away. Sometimes some of your options to make sure you take care of your family, you got to do the things that you really don't want to do. But it's you that got to make that choice. It's you that got to determine what's going to be beneficial. It's your choice to push back or pull back. The ability to make the choice to strengthen your body. I don't believe in being no weak man or no weak boy, being a beta. I don't believe none of that. So sometimes I got to let that pride drop sometimes so I can really think about it. He said, nope, fake the walk away and catch them slipping. No, we don't catch nobody slipping. Nobody slipping. We can't be slipping like the Detroit Lions let Stafford slip away. And we don't want no slipping. You catch somebody slipping, then it's a wrap. I'd rather confront the person face to face, like, what's up? And if they want to take that L, then they can take that L, you know what I'm saying? But what's up, y'all? What's good? I see y'all in the comments, man. I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know I got to do my commercial piece for our sponsor. This moment, man. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in at this moment. See below. Shout out to our sponsors, New Millennial Culture Network. Y'all can cash app us at NMC Network or PayPal, New Millennial Culture. Or y'all can contact us at New Millennial Culture Network at gmail.com. Definitely appreciate y'all for sponsoring the show. Make sure y'all donate at the bottom below, and we're going to kick this thing going. Let's get it. So, back to determining your own outcome. So, I'll tell y'all a story. When I was, everything's about a choice, right? We always talk about determining your own outcome. And there was a time where me and a couple friends, we was acting the fool. We never got caught, but it backfired on me. I'm going to tell y'all, this is just a silly story. Man, me and my boy used to fix on bikes. We used to go to this little shop, go down the street. They'd give us a bunch of bikes to work on, fix on chains, put them up. And we used to snatch up other people's bikes, run in the alley. We didn't care about the consequences, snatch them up. But then my parents bought me a bike. They bought me this brand new Huffy. I will never forget. It was gold and silver, brand new. Man, I sat that mug at the corner store. I grabbed me some chips, came back out. That motherfucker was gone. I was hot. I don't think I ever stole a bike after that. And this is what I had to think about it. Like, man, all the bikes I done stole, they gonna steal the $200 bike, the most expensive one. All the other bikes that we were stealing was like broken down, just refixing. We didn't care about the consequences. And I think from there, like the more things that I did that was like criminal activity or negative or just stupid, it just started to build up. More shit just began to build up. After that, we moved out to a different area. We started going to parties and start feeling myself a little bit, feeling all jazzy, everybody looking at me as big man. Then we start building a whole little crew in our area. Then we get a little couple fights here and there. Then now our name's getting out there. So now our head getting bigger. At the time, I'm playing football, name getting out there. My other boy came from Richfield, and he became a receiver. So our whole freshman class was starting to do our thing in football. But I'm not thinking about my outcomes, my future. And my stepdad used to always tell me, like, hey, your freshman year is crucial. Your freshman year is crucial. Your freshman year is crucial. And me at the time, I'm like, man, I don't care about none of that. And I could be honest now, I know what I was feeling at the time. I know that my mom was working on them hours, my stepdad was working on them hours. And yeah, we did stuff together. We went to church and we spent time together. But I feel like now, when I look at it now, I feel like it wasn't enough. I do definitely think it wasn't enough. I felt like moving between households, I started feeling like, all right, let me start hanging with people that I think would care more. But I was wrong. So I kept on building up, doing more things. All right. Yeah, I'm making a football practice. Yeah, here come the games. But by then I could have been stronger. I could have been faster. I could have been better within myself. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was too busy. You 13 years old, sex, fighting, twerking, basement parties. We coming out with our own little squad name. Every time somebody talk crazy, that was my focus. That was my number. That was priority. Before going to play football, that was priority. And then it backfired. Boom. Didn't think about the outcome. Adding more and more and more criminal activity. Going to Walmart, stealing all the Dickie outfits at the time. Walmart had all the Dickies. Had the blue, the beige, red, everything. We going there stealing all the beige outfits. But we're not thinking about it. We just making impulsive stuff. Even though I could have went to my mom and said, hey, Mom, can I get $100, $200? Let me get shopping. My mom would have been like, here, or my granny, or my stepdad, everybody would have helped me out with some money. It was never an issue for money. But I never understood why I had to do that, why I was making those choices when I had it at home. I was blessed, but I was putting a burden on my family. I was putting that burden on my sister. I was putting that burden on everybody because I was too busy thinking about, once again, let my mind play tricks on me that's what I really needed. But what I really needed was for my ass to be at the house. So I determined that I wanted to be the man. I could have been the man in football, but instead I wanted it all at the time. I wanted all of it. Fuck them. Give me the girls, give me the sports. Let me whoop these niggas' ass and let me run my shit. And that's what I chose to do. Then boom, I got in trouble. Mama, I'm in trouble, man. When it got real. And there wasn't nothing I can do about it. What was done, it was done. Mom was crying. Stepdad was sad. Sister didn't understand at the time what was really going on. And the consequences just start having a trickle effect on our family. Just more and more and more. Just more and more. It just kept adding up. Had to move to another city because I wasn't welcome at the school no more. Had to go to another city. My parents had to move to another city, which was like 2 miles over. Had to go to another school. What people start doing, threatening households, trying to pop up. I'm on house arrest. So I'm going to another school where the enemies was. So I'm whooping their ass, all 6, 7 of them, with evidence. They still got videos to this day about that shit. But I'm still going at it. Still creating more chaos. Yeah, I was in trouble, but trouble was coming my way. But I know now I created a lot of that trouble. I created a lot of that chaos. I created that the impulsive decisions that I was making before I'd even thought about it. And now that I think about it, I could have sat back, thought about it, take a second, wait a minute. I thought that was a song for a second. Y'all hold up. Thought I had a little track going on. But no, for real, like I could have made things really like happen. I could have made things really happen for my family. I could have really made some changes. I could have really been more like I appreciate everything now. I really enjoy my family. I got my kids, got my wife. I got all of it. I'm good. But I do look back sometimes like, man, I could have made a lot of different things happen as well. Now, I don't live with regret, but I've definitely learned from those decisions that I made, those negative things that I've done. But did I learn from it really when I got out? Not at all. I think at the time when I did my time, got in trouble, I did my time. I think I got out. I knew I was still on probation, so I stayed on good behavior because I didn't want to get in trouble. But when I got out, I didn't want to go to school, but I ended up going to school. But I still did a lot of shit that was still just being me, still being that thug, still being, I don't even know how to describe it anymore. And most of y'all know, whoever went to school with me at UT or whoever was with me, that's when y'all start talking about, man, Marcel didn't care about nothing. I still didn't care. I think it took me all the way up until almost 25, 26 to really start caring about shit. For real, if we want to be honest. Even when my wife met me, it was still a lot of shit like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck about a lot of that shit. Going to school or living in enemy territory is a war zone. Yeah. It was a war zone. It was rough. I will say that. You living in one city and you already meeting people at the parties. And 2 months prior to that, we had there was altercation where they came out the party. We were in the party. We went to a party and we didn't know they were going to be there. And then they came outside and they kept talking, and all you heard was some doo 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 doo. Just heard some sounds going off, scattered. And now you're talking about us being 15, letting loose. So then 2 months later, I get in some trouble and I got to go to the school that they all go to. So just imagine English class for me. I'm up in English class, man. I'm sitting there tapping my pencil. Tap, 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 tap. I'm like, oh shit. As soon as that bell rang, boy, I was feeling like old boy from the wood when he was looking at the clock. He started sweating because he knew the brother was coming. That's how I felt. I felt like the whole crew was coming. And as soon as I walked out, none less, man, they came out. We came in the hallway. Everybody circled up like, oh shit. They knew what set I was from. I knew what they was from. I don't even know if they was in the set. They just knew where I was from. And it went down. And from there, though, a lot of people knew that day. They remember the day they fought me. They knew. Them boys got scraped. I don't know how I did it, but I was quick. But, I mean, at this time, it ain't nothing to brag about, but they listening. They knew what it was. We all cordial. Now, I go to party now and be like, hey, man, we was 15. But they knew what it was, and they still know what it is to this day. But yeah, man, that's all part of the determining your outcomes. We don't think about the future. We don't think about what's going to hold. We don't think about those consequences, man. And I think it goes to the root of who was really guiding us and who was really teaching us. Because if our parents are working these 9 to 5s, then who do we really have to teach us? Who? We're teaching ourselves. We're really teaching ourselves. And then the cycle starts over because I'm sitting here thinking back, and I'm really thinking about like looking at my kids. Like I'm working 9 to 5 and I don't know what's going on at my kids' school. And I mean, even if I wasn't working 9 to 5, I wouldn't know. But after school, you know, you got a lot of these teenagers, they gonna hang out, they got their little clubs, they might be going through some things. But when you working and you stressed out, you ain't paying attention to your kids, and it's like you lose that touch. So how do we really capture and really teach this new generation, which is almost like a lost cause. These Gen Zs, whatever the hell they call, man, these kids out here just they worse than our generation. So how do we really reach to reduce the trauma? How do we reduce the negative what you want to call it, how do we have positive reinforcement for our youth? How do we really show them a different light than what was offered to us? And I know we keep talking about these same cycles, and I know we keep talking about this stuff over and over, generation to generation, but at some point we can be the ones that really say stop. I know a few cats that I talked to when they was younger, and they still talk to me to this day, and they look at me as their mentor. I feel like I made a huge impact. And yeah, they say it only takes one, but we talking about thousands of people that was the same 15-year-old little boy or girl that I was when I was 15. Same knucklehead, still didn't care, didn't give two shits. So at some point, how do we stop that? How do we get it more involved? And I don't even have the answer. I thought doing social work was going to be a piece, but it ain't even about doing social work. It's more to it than that. Because the system, I've learned, everybody know, I know the system. The system don't give two craps about us. The system repeats the same thing. Let's keep everybody in Section 8. Oh, let's give everybody a stimulus check. Knowing damn well they ain't have no job. They give you a stimulus check in March. That's cool for March. But what about April, May, and June? So once again, mother got to work, father got to work. So what is the child doing? Teaching themselves. Picking a crowd that they think that's going to be their family. Doing a reacting to things that they think is going to be beneficial to them. Not looking at the choices. Going in as a freshman in high school, trying to be the man, trying to have the girls, trying to have the parties, trying to have everything. So yeah, determine your outcome. You thought becoming a teacher would help? It doesn't help because the system sucks. The system sucks. And we have a lot of people out here who's trying to lead. Killer Mike, what's dude name? David, Mississippi himself, whatever his name is. And no, the system is not meant for us, but there is ways that the system can benefit us. We just don't know how, or we just don't listen. So I will say that the system isn't for us, but it's a way for us to benefit from the system. But we really don't need the system. The black dollar is so powerful. We just don't know how to utilize it as resources to really build up the community, which we will be talking about this Thursday on New Millennial Culture Podcast. Actions. Changing the ways, changing these outcomes, showing how to really provide a pathway. So yeah, man, determine your own outcome. Determine it. So yeah, this was my intro. Y'all see, I'm gonna just keep it real. It's gonna get crazier from here. Thanks for everybody that was tuning in tonight. Definitely make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure tomorrow y'all holler at Hurt Talks Sports. It's going down tomorrow night. Make sure Thursday, New Millennial Culture Podcast, and also Esau Podcast as well. Esau Talks right after that. And don't forget to donate down at the bottom. Make sure y'all tune in, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Hey, man. We out, man.